Hey everyone, this is Deborah at Craft Project Whiplash, and I wanted to share a new project of organization. And this is a 3-drawer chest that I have made out of chipboard. And I'm going to do a tutorial and kind of walk you through how I do this particular project. And this one is made to my specific size that I need for my space that I have it in. But if you can kind of just pay attention to how I put it together, and then you can adjust it to any size that will fit your space. But I do give you the measurements to this one just in case you want to make this exact one. Okay, so the beginning measurements of the whole actual box, not including the drawers, are here. You can pause if you want to get the actual measurement. And then the hinges is what I put the box together with, and I'll show you how I make those in a second. And what you do is take a scoreboard. I took a 12 by 12, just basic black cardstock, and I am scoring it. I have the measurements on the screen. You can pause and watch that. And I actually mark it on the top of my scoreboard with a little Sharpie, so I don't have to keep I can just glance really quickly and do it. So I can do a whole sheet of these in a relatively short period of time. So I'm just going down and scoring it at the exact measurements, and then once I get this whole page finished, I'll get my cutter out, and basically you're going to cut it at every 3/4 inches. So you end up with a score mark directly in the center. And we're just about done here, and there, and then we're going to take the cutter. And like I said, this is just basic black cardstock. And I use a 12 by 12 because a lot of my projects, I need a 12-inch long piece sometimes. But you can totally piece it together. A lot of them I've used 8.5 by 11 and done the same thing. And I save all the little pieces, because if you cut it down and you have extras, I have a little bin on my desk that I keep all they call them construction strips or structure strips or hinges. A lot of people, it's not my idea. A lot of people make these. So there's just a couple I cut so you can kind of see. And then there's a close-up. So you want the score line right in the center. Then you're going to add 1/4 inch score tape on either side of the score line. And it's important to be close to the line, because if you leave too much of a gap, when you go to put your box together, it's going to be really flimsy. So the best way to get a nice secure joint is to have the tape really close to the scored line, but not going over it. And then I'm just using a little ruler to rip the tape. It's faster for me to do it that way. So there is my hinge. And here's a close-up. You kind of see what I mean about a small gap. Okay, this is the box base itself, not including the top and the bottom. It's just the back and the sides. And what I've done is I've decided that I wanted where I wanted the drawers to be. So I've taken a mark, like a gold Sharpie or a pencil, whatever. I did a gold Sharpie so you could see it a little bit better on the black. And I've marked straight across evenly all the way across the 3 pieces. And then I'm folding my hinges, and then if you'll notice, I've tapered the edges a little bit, so it'll be a little bit less bulk in the corners, sort of 45 the ends of the hinges. Okay, so the 2 middle lines are your shelves, basically, for the drawers to slide in. The top one I just did is going to be for the top of the box, and then here's going to be the bottom. So, and basically the top and the bottom, the hinges are on the inside of the box. That's why I flipped that one around and have the glue, the tape facing the bottom and then the top, if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to do the same thing on the sides. And just kind of burnish it down. And it's important that you're as accurate as you can be, because this is what's going to make your box fit properly when you're finished. If it's a little, if your lines are a little bit wonky, your box isn't going to glide in and out that easily. And like I said, this is, I had a space that I was fitting my box in. There was a certain size, a certain height. So that's why mine is this way. And my two bottom drawers are going to be the same size, and the top one will be a little bit smaller. You can make it a lot easier on yourself. Sorry, that was my puppy. You can make it a lot easier on yourself by making it in even increments. Like my lines that I started, the markings, from the bottom of the box, I went 1 3/4 inches to the first line. Then I wanted another gap that was 1 3/4 inches, but then you have to remember you have the thickness of your chipboard, which is 1/16 of an inch. So that would mean that the next line is 1 13/16 inches past the first line. So hopefully that makes sense. I have a little trouble with the 16ths on a ruler sometimes. So it's the tiny line that's just past 1 3/4 inches, if that helps anybody. Okay, so we're finishing up the last hinge on one of the sides, and then we're going to line them up all three together. And I kind of goofed here. My other box that I made, I put the vertical pieces, the hinges, on first, then marked the lines. And I kind of got a little ahead of myself when I was doing this one and marked the lines first. So now I'm just going to have to go and just cut the pieces down a little bit. It's not that big a deal. Either way you want to do it. So here I'm just cutting down the hinges to where they'll fit in between the shelves. And then when you go get ready to attach it, you want to fold them where the tape is on the outside, and then line it up to the edge of the one side of the chipboard, and get it real close, but not going over the edge of the chipboard, and that'll give you a really nice tight connection between the two. And by doing it this way, all the hinges are on the inside, so you don't see any of this on the outside of the finished box. And then just make sure you line up your lines, really get them as close as you can, and then just seal it down. And then we're going to do the other side the same way. Okay, so here's the top and the bottom and the shelves. And if you'll notice when I lay them down here, two of them, which are the center shelves, are just a slight bit shorter or not as wide as the top and the bottom. And that's important because there's just a little less room on the interior of the box. So here I am putting the bottom. Just going to butt that up just really tight, and then put the hinge down on top of that. So that's the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the two interior shelves in the same way. And you're going to kind of stand it up and make sure you're even spaced in between the two sides, and then just attach it down. Okay, so here we're going to attach the sides, and basically you're just sort of touching the corners. You're not overlapping either one of them. You're just sort of meeting at the edge. And just make sure that it's even. Make sure you're at the same level. One's not higher than the other, if you get what I'm saying. And you're just going to continue on down. You just reach in there with with your little pokey tool and pull the tape up, and then just make sure it's nice and tight. You want to make sure that your seams are really close together. That way it'll be nice and tight. And hopefully, if you've measured right, which hopefully I have measured right and put my hinges on correctly, it should be straight. Now this is a drawer box, so basically I'm going to be making drawers to go inside those spaces. But keep in mind, you can make this as a stand for pens or markers if you wanted to stand it straight up instead of making it like drawers. You could just put it on its back and have the holes, the spaces go up more vertical, and then you could store all kind of things, your markers or any kind of tools. I have a few desk organizers on my desk that I've made that way, and it's basically the same design. It's just different dimensions. That's all. And but this one, if you were to stand it on its back, you could put a couple of dividers in there, and then you'd be able to hold a whole lot of tools and markers and things. If they're going to be heavy things, though, I would recommend that you put an extra layer of chipboard around the whole entire exterior of the box, just to make it a little bit stronger. Okay, so here we're making a drawer. So you just have the base of the drawer, your two sides in the front and the back, and then you're just going to put the hinges all the way around. And then my particular box, my two bottom ones are the same size, and the top one's a little bit smaller because the dimensions didn't work out to be perfectly even. But you could make them however you wanted. If you wanted a really skinny top drawers for, say, like score tape, you just want to put a couple of rolls of score tape in there. You'd only need it to be about an inch tall. So you could make any configuration of drawers. You just adjust your lines at the beginning. And also they can you can put dividers inside there too. I like doing that. So if I have a few little things and I want to store different things inside the one drawer, just put your dividers in there. And they go on the same way, basically. It's just putting the hinges on each end. I have a photo of that at the beginning, if you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, now there's the drawer. I actually put it in the wrong place. That's the top drawer. And I've already got the other two drawers completed, so you don't have to watch all that. And then before decorating, one final thing that I like to do is I like to go over all the edges with black masking tape. I've tried washi tape, and I have used that a few times, but I find that it doesn't stick as long. You have to follow it up with paper to seal all the edges down. But the black masking tape is really great because it's really sticky. So I just ordered it off of Amazon. It's just basic, simple masking tape, except it's black. So here I'm just kind of giving you a little quick glimpse. This is just how I cover all the edges. I kind of cut the corners out a little bit so they don't overlap too much. And then it just seals all those edges. Makes it look really nice and finished. And it protects them too. And then I'm going to kind of burnish that tape down. And sometimes by doing this step, it can make your drawer a little bit bulkier. Not much, but just a little bit. So when you go to slide it in the drawer, the little space, if it's a little bit tight, just take your bone folder and burnish it down a little bit better. All the corners and everything. And then I found that it slid in perfectly after that. So I'm not going to go through and show you the whole thing, but this was just a couple of sides that I did to kind of show you how I do the tape. And that just, like I say, it finishes it off. I use black because that's what I prefer. You could use whatever they make. I think I saw the other day at Hobby Lobby that they have all kind of colored masking tape. Or you could use washi tape. You'll just need to use paper to cover all the edges up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll show you. You've seen picture at the beginning. All of it does have, I use graphic 45 typography paper because it's my favorite. And it does, as long as you cover up the edges, it's fine. So there was the drawer sizes if you wanted to see exactly how mine were done. And here's the final product all decorated. I used the Graphic 45's metal pull labels on the front. And that's it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone's comments. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And here's my new little puppy, Jackson, 3 months old. Really, really sweet. So, all right, you guys, have a good one.